Welcome to the Gay Buddhist Forum, where teachers from all schools of Buddhism offer their perspectives on the Dharma and its application in modern times, especially for LGBTQI audiences. These talks are offered freely to the world and made possible by appreciative listeners. If you would like to support our efforts to share the Dharma with underserved audiences, please visit gaybuddhist.org. There you can donate, find a list of upcoming speakers, or enjoy many hundreds of these recorded talks dating back to 1996.
Aware of our interbeing, our interconnectedness with all life. Deep breath, bowing in gratitude. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it. Yeah, welcome again to the Gay Buddhist Fellowship. We use this opportunity to introduce ourselves to each other. My name is Howard.
Bill.
Tara.
Mark.
Mark.
George.
Emily.
G-Sing.
Kay.
Snake.
Nicholas. Bill. Carl.
Carl. My name is Jim.
Joe.
John.
Mark.
Richard.
Michael.
Ed.
David.
Jack.
Jim. Harv.
Joaquin. George.
Jim. Steve. Peter. Cass. Clint.
Kevin.
Is there anyone here for
Dharma
the first
Bear.
time? And Dharma Bear. You can bring one for me. Anyone here for the first time?
Yeah, welcome. Your name again?
Mark.
Does Dharma Bear show up at the Folsom Street Fair?
Sometimes.
That's good. Well, it's my privilege, of course, to welcome Q-Sangha to the Sangha this day as our Dharma teacher, presenter. Let me give you a little background on Q-Sangha. This will take about 30 minutes. Q-Sangha, Norman Eng is the facilitator of Q-Sangha and the minister of Buddhist Spirituality at the Metropolitan Community Church in San Francisco. Q-Sangha is also a ritual artist and an amateur musician songwriter. He was born and raised in Texas and has a BA in religion and an MA in spirituality. His main spiritual teacher is Thich Nhat Hanh, and his nickname is Thay, or they wouldn't say
Thay.
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 Means teacher in Vietnamese.
Okay, Thay. And he is ordained by Thay into the order of Interbeing, the United Buddhist Church, in the year 2003 with the Dharma name of True Wonderful Happiness. In the past, Q-Sangha has collaborated on several rituals and retreats with Bay Area spiritual teachers Matthew Fox of Creation Spirituality and Christian De La Huerta of Q-Spirit. He's been a retreat leader of the California Men's Gathering 3 years in a row, and he has founded the former Gay Youth Spirit in 1995 and the current New Generation Sangha in 2001. His vision for future ministry is of a united spiritual community that will focus on Eastern, Western, and earth-based spiritualities in an interfaith context with emphasis on music and the arts. And I'm particularly delighted to introduce Q-Sangha because he is a friend.
Well, I'm really glad to be here today. It feels very supportive, the energy here. Having Howard as the facilitator, because Howard is very dear to my heart. And my wonderful friend Evely Posh, who is such a goddess of music. And she really knows how to channel the heart-opening qualities of the Buddha through her music. And just look around the room to see some familiar faces. Some of you also attend Q-Sangha on many nights. It's just nice to be here in a different context. Today, I don't want to do a lot of talking. I'll do some talking. But instead, I want to have a Dharma talk that's more than just a talk. Dharma presentation that involves speaking, but not just with words, but through music as well, and our body, and speaking through our relationships and interactions. So this is sort of an embodied Dharma talk. And so, because we need to realize that the Dharma is not just words. Dharma can be And also, I had a party last night, so I'm tired. I didn't really want to present a lot of words to this one.
It's all that wild dancing. Gets you.
Right. So I thought maybe we could start off with a song. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. And over here, maybe someone could help pass out all the papers over there. There are three things that are being passed out. They're all inserted within each other. But it's the second page, which is white. In the middle of that, there's a print-up of the words Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. If you already know the words of that chant, because it's one of the most chanted Buddhist chants in the world, you don't need to look on. But the meaning of it is, we bow in gratitude to the Blessed One, worthy of respect, the fully enlightened one. Anybody know how to play a shruti box? Anyone ever played one before? Okay, I guess I'll do it. So, and if you don't have one, please share. Does everyone have one? Okay, so open up, take the pieces of paper apart from each other. Then the white page, open it up, and on the right-hand side, on the column, it's down below, near the bottom. Namo tassa. Everyone see it? So just in case you don't know the words, Namo tassa. Let's just repeat after me. Namo tassa.
Namo tassa.
Bhagavato.
Bhagavato.
Arahato.
Arahato.
Sama sambuddhassa.
Sama sambuddhassa.
Okay. Now, you can put down the paper if you'd like, or put it on your lap. And let's just put our palms together. And before we sing, I'd like to remind us that everything we do in this entire time is always mindfulness practice. So even when we sing or chant, it's a mindfulness practice. And so let's just practice on Namo for a couple of seconds. It's just saying, chant Namo for a long time, just one monotone. So taking a breath in, and then second time, but just notice the vibration that you feel on your palms and your heart, because that's where the energy is when we chant, is in the center of our heart. And just be aware of all the vibrations around the mouth, just mindful of sensations. Let's take a deep breath again. We are creating a sound that is not just a sound, but is the Dharma expressed through sound. Taking a deep breath. Emily and I will sing it I speak a little bit, I'd like to ask people to randomly share either from their experience so far today or of some experiences from past Gay Buddhist Fellowship mornings. Just some things that have been brought up that either encourage you or you have a question about. Just raise your hand.
In your own Sangha, how do you promote the teaching of Sangha so that it gets beneath the surface of the heart space? But from your own practice.
Keep that question in mind. Others? Just take a few comments and then I'll talk. Yes.
I've been having difficulty about this, these spiritual people protesting things that it always, I don't know how. I mean, I know that I'm not being the Buddha nature, but it almost, it hurts. These spiritual people protesting against different values of different people. It's hard. How do you deal with that? I mean, people protesting about the gay marriage. They're proclaimed as spiritual people. They want all these spiritual people to come together as one. How do you drop that frustration of spiritual people attacking other spiritual people? Yeah, it's kind of a political topic.
What we did today reminded me of something that we did. I think we ran a singer here in the GBI. It reminded me of something that I was leading the group to do. We did together maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and we were singing. Each person sang their own name, and then we were echoing the singing of the person's name. It was very peaceful atmosphere. It was really like today. Appreciate the localizing the Dharma.
I especially appreciated the song and the breathing. There was something quite wonderful to me about sky and heart and earth. It was very, pulled me back to a retreat up in Spirit Rock where there was a particular standing meditation that I experienced where I was very much connected to very spaciously the sky. So I want to thank you for that. It was quite wonderful.
We have, in my experience in the past, done some chanting in this Sangha. And in those moments, I've always been moved to a deeper, richer, more grounded place. Also impressed with the beauty of the voices within this Sangha and the resonance that comes out. And that's a source of great inspiration also. So I look, it encourages me to look forward to future opportunities as Sangha to include chanting and music in our time together. And it certainly is one of your great gifts to Sangha.
I do appreciate music in the practice because I know that was one of my. I started out in Zen and there's just no music, at all that I experienced when there was some chanting and stuff, and I really missed that part of Christianity. I've been brought up, in the Catholic tradition, and it's something that I longed for, in to appreciate that you brought music into this practice in this fashion. I'm very comfortable with it, and it's kind of seems to be filling the gaps that I felt were kind of present.
Thank you. Mark.
Yeah.
You're not the first person I hear saying that. I hear that a lot, actually. In fact, a friend of mine in Minneapolis was telling me he goes to the Sunday 9 o'clock Zen Center service and then goes to the 11 o'clock church, Unitarian church service, because they wanted to balance the two. It's an interesting thing to think about in our practice of Buddhism in the West. How much can we make Buddhism truly our own and not just an Asian import? Yeah.
I just wanted to say, though, that it's interesting because there is a Korean monk who's been asking for our songs. And actually, I just did a demo tape for him to bring back to Korea. So it's coming full circle, So.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm especially grateful that you did some body movement work today. For some reason, I woke up in a terrific amount of pain. And so it's impossible not to be aware of the body, but it's nice to incorporate some movement, especially in the meditation.
If I'm invited again, I think a topic that, how many of you did grow up in a, first of all, who grew up in a Jewish background, with a Jewish background? Raise your hand. One. Just one. Okay. And how many grew up in a Christian background? Several. Okay. And then, did anyone not raise your hand? Raise your hand if you didn't. Okay, what religious background did you grow up in?
Oh, where to start, but I guess this would be first.
Oh. Did you grow up in the Bay Area?
A little bit.
Yeah. So I think it seems the majority of us grew up in a Christian background, and I'd like to talk about that if I am invited next time, but I don't want to talk about that today because I think today it seems to me the move is more toward embodied spirituality, which I'm going to play a 5-minute excerpt of a Dharma talk I gave recently at Q-Sangha during the Lunar New Year, celebrating the Year of the Monkey. And I think it kind of does embody the topic today of embodied spirituality because, especially your question about death, because in Buddhist practice, most of the time, it's more of, you can use the metaphor of upward movement, trying to attain certain stages and enlightenment. But there's another side to Buddhist practice, which is the downward movement. In Mahayana Buddhism, that's usually called the Bodhisattva ideal. And I don't think they're opposed. I think they're both true, and they can be both done simultaneously. As you're doing this upward movement, you're also simultaneously doing a downward movement. The upward movement is trying to go deeper and to attain certain states of awareness and consciousness. But the downward movement is it's almost like channeling that Buddha nature that's already within you and expressing it as you go along. To express Buddha nature through movement and activity, through going to work, having relationships, having sex, talking to friends, creating a career, vocation, helping and serving people who are oppressed. So I don't think that they should be opposed, and maybe there's some portions of Buddhism that seem to be opposed to each other because they think, one's this ideal and one's the other ideal. But I think Western Buddhism, because we are such a melting pot of different forms of Buddhism that have come from the East, we have the opportunity to practice Buddhism in such a way that's very integrated, so that there is both an upward movement, the ideal of depth and enlightenment, as well as downward movement, the idea of creativity and expression, and of allowing our Buddha nature to express in just ordinary life, in all the different areas of life, including music and culture and art. But I will say that in this question of creating a Buddhism in the West that is truly Western Buddhism, we do need to confront and truly look deeply into the issue of our Western heritage, which does include Judaism and Christianity. And part of our heritage also includes Islam as well. I brought a few books along just to show you that this understanding of, let's just say, at least between Christianity and Buddhism, is already taking place. This looking at both of them. There's a wonderful book called Beside Still Waters, subtitled Jews, Christians, and the Way of the Buddha. The first half of the book are testimonies of Jews who also practice Buddhist meditation. And the second half of the book are Christians who also practice Buddhist meditation and how they relate the two in their lives. You know, and they all have a different story. They all have different ways of integrating the two. One of my favorite Buddhist Christians is Ruben Habito, a Filipino, formerly a priest. He now is married. But he wrote this wonderful book that just came out with a reprinted version, Living Zen, Loving God. It's a great title, I think. But, I mean, it just came out as a reprint, so if you want to check that out, that's a good one. A couple of other ones. Here's a Buddhist who wrote about Jesus, looking at Jesus from a Buddhist perspective, specifically a Zen perspective, and seeing how his teachings very much so resonate with the Bodhisattva ideal. And so, anyway, it's called The Zen Teachings of Jesus by Kenneth Leung, a Chinese Buddhist in New York. And he's very Buddhist, and it's not like he's trying to promote Christianity, but he's looking at Jesus from a Buddhist perspective. And here is the opposite. A Catholic priest, Robert Kennedy, who's writing about Zen, specifically, Buddhism in general, Zen gifts to Christians. And he writes about his experience as a Catholic priest practicing Zen, and he's also a Zen teacher. He's received transmission, so he has both authentic Christian experience and Buddhist experience, and expresses that very eloquently in my book. And just as an aside, there's a book that just came out, edited by Thomas More. You might know who he is. He wrote the book Care of the Soul, very popular book. Well, he edited this new book called The Lost Sutras of Jesus. And some of us may not know, but when Christianity was in its early stage, before it became really rigid and dogmatic, many different kinds of Christianity existed, one of which was a very liberal, progressive, open-hearted, non-condemning form of Christianity. And some of those people went over to the East in the early centuries and formed some Christian communities that were so able to blend in with the Buddhist and Taoist communities that when the persecution of Buddhists occurred in the 10th century by the Emperor of China, it pretty much wiped out many Buddhist monasteries. But because there were so many Buddhists, it survived. But unfortunately, there were very few Christians, so they all got wiped out. But we don't know about them because they were completely wiped out, except these sutras were discovered about 100 years ago in a cave in Shan, China, along with Buddhist scrolls. Apparently, in this community of Christians, they worked in complete harmony with the Buddhists and Taoists and did things together, and they were not exclusive in their approach to Christianity. Anyway, it's a fascinating study of this very unknown form of Christianity that existed in China. And finally, my favorite author, of course, is Thich Nhat Hanh. He's my teacher. And he's written two wonderful books on the topic of interfaith dialogue, specifically between Christianity and Buddhism. But there's also many books of dialogue between Judaism and Christianity as well. But this is called Living Buddha, Living Christ, which you may have heard of because it's a national bestseller. And then one that you may not have heard of, which came out later, is Going Home, Jesus and Buddha as Brothers, which goes into a little bit more theological depth, if you're interested in that. Anyway, it's a wonderful topic to look deeply into. We won't go into it today, but I just wanted to whet your appetite. Maybe you'll invite me again next time. And but I want to say, I'll just stop there and I'll just play you this excerpt so we can practice some listening meditation. You can kind of breathe in, breathe out, sit. It's just 5 minutes long.
Gong Hei Fat Choi. Happy Lunar New Year of the monkey. So can you say Bodhisvaha? Bodhisvaha. Now, yesterday I preached at a nice spirit-filled Christian church that Reverend Amma is the pastor at. And every time I said something, they would say Amen or Hallelujah. So here, let's practice some of that. We can say Bodhisvaha. 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 Whew. You know, as I was preparing for this Dharma talk, which will be very short, I thought about the Lunar New Year of the monkey. What exactly is the meaning of the monkey for us in Buddhist spirituality? Well, a friend of mine suggested maybe I should title the talk, How to Frolic with Your Monkey. Or Frolicking Like Monkeys. But I have to confess, those weren't exactly the words he used. Not frolicking anyway. So, but seriously, as I thought about this, I thought, well, okay, monkey. Like the monkey mind. In our meditations or in our mindfulness practice, sometimes it's our monkey mind that just never stops. Distracting us, always pulling us away from centeredness and peace. So, I thought, okay, maybe I could entitle this talk, How to Annihilate Your Monkey Mind. Well, but then of course, as I thought about it, I realized that in Buddhism, we don't annihilate anything. It's a non-violent spiritual practice. So we're not trying to get rid of the monkey mind. So I thought, okay, maybe I'll title this, How to Manage Your Monkey Mind. Now that sounds a little bit better, right? But still there's an element of control, of seeing the monkey mind as something other, as something not right, as something to be suppressed or managed. But as I began to meditate on this, and I remember the words of our teacher Thich Nhat Hanh, I figured out the perfect title for the Dharma talk. How to befriend your monkey mind. Bodhisvaha? Bodhisvaha. Okay. How to befriend your monkey mind. You see, meditation practice is not trying to destroy or annihilate or even manage the uncontrolled parts of ourselves. Rather, Buddhist spiritual practice in meditation is simply to first be with what is in our consciousness. And if it is a monkey mind, so be it. Let us be with that monkey mind. Let's embrace it, observe it, befriend the monkey mind. Because until we realize the monkey mind is none other than just ourselves, we will create a battlefield between so-called good and evil within ourselves. Always one part being self-righteous and the other part, the shadow side, to be suppressed. But that is not our practice. Our practice is rather to see the monkey mind, to understand the monkey mind, to be with, to sit with the monkey mind, to embrace it, and to realize the monkey mind is none other than ourselves in a different manifestation. So the part of us which is Buddha nature embraces the part of us that is monkey mind, because they are not two. They are not separate. In fact, they inter-are, and they need each other. You see, in our practice, sometimes we think we're trying to strive for Buddhahood. We are imperfect, and therefore we must seek what is perfect. But in that kind of attitude, we can really burn ourselves out. Because the truth is, you already are the Buddha. And practicing mindfulness is simply to express that Buddha nature that you already are. And so the monkey mind is there to help us in our practice, to help us to bring down to earth our mindfulness practice. Because spirituality isn't just some pie in the sky, by and by. It's real. It's earthy. It involves the body. So the monkey mind maybe you might call it your ego, whatever. It's important. It's an important ally in your practice. Because we're not trying to destroy our ego, but rather we're trying to be with, understand this part of ourselves, and see it transformed simply by the embrace of the Buddha mind and the ego mind, the monkey mind. When you embrace a feeling like anger or depression, you really are with it. You realize, actually, that part of our consciousness is trying to tell us something. And if we try to fight it and suppress it, we'll never learn. So, we look at the monkey mind like we look at our anger or depression, and we try to see what is its purpose. And I believe when I meditate on the monkey mind, the purpose is simply this. The monkey mind is simply curious. The monkey mind is here to explore the universe. You see, it's our vehicle of being human, of being in the physical realm. Otherwise, we'd just be spirit all the time, never manifesting in form. But to manifest in form requires that spirit has the monkey mind, enough to want to explore this universe. Because without that curious monkey, we would never really want to be here because there's so much weird stuff here. Okay? Bodhisattva? Okay. So the monkey mind is our friend to help us be curious enough to explore and to express Buddha nature in all these realms of the physical. Otherwise, we really wouldn't want to do it. So our monkey mind is the friend of manifestation, friend of form, emptiness and form, form and emptiness. So, let us befriend our monkey mind. Let us embrace who we really are in all of our light and shadow, our spirituality, our physicality. Because that is the truth. Buddha nature in everything. No river is refused by the ocean of mindfulness.
Bodhisattva. Well, it's 5 minutes to 12, and I wanted to have a short exercise where you could express to each other your Buddha mind and your monkey mind in twos, but we've run out of time. So let's just close with a song that Emily has written. No, I'd like that. Oh. What would you like instead?
A song together.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Okay. It's longer than 5 minutes.
We've been enjoying your singing.
Yes.
It sounds like it's coming from the earth.
Thank you, Emily.
Okay, well, this is a song that I wrote based on a poem by Bruein. There's a time when we are sitting, you and I, two forms and only one soul, you and I. Song of birds, they quicken everything when we come into our garden, you and I. All the stars of heaven hurry to see us, and we show them our own moon, you and I. You and I. Without words, without you and I. In delight, we are united, you and I. Sugar One soul, you and I. Fragrance, song of birds, they quicken everything when they come into our garden, you and I. All the stars of heaven hurry to see us and to show them our own moon, you and I. You and I.
Bodhisattva.
We're going to move into just a period of announcements and some of the details of the Sangha, but afterwards, if you could offer a blessing for closing. Welcome back, George.
Yes, a reminder that these talks are available on the internet at the GBF website, kbuddhist.org.
Other announcements? Nicholas?
Next weekend is Spirit Rock, gay and lesbian teachings and meditation all day Saturday, Sunday, 28th, 29th, with Eric and Irene. It's very wonderful up there. They have a spiritrock.org website. You can register online.
I've heard nothing but glorious reports of that experience. Clint?
A couple of announcements. Those who don't have access to the newsletter or just have looked at it. Next week in Planet Harvard, the head office of City Zen Center, we'll be talking. She's a wonderful talker too, and probably encourage everybody to attend. And I'm afraid I have a non-Buddhist announcement. I'll be very brief. I have a book launching party for my book on March 9th at Post Incorporated. I've got flyers that we're interested in seeing afterwards on that show.
I disagree. It's a very Buddhist experience.
In the context of Buddhism is everything.
Yeah, quite an engaging opportunity, I think.
I'll just announce again, speaking of books, Roger Corliss's book is being read, Visions of Reality, with a group. We're meeting on the Wednesday of each month in San Francisco. If anyone's interested, you can talk to me and Jim about it. And I brought an extra copy if you want to get ahead and to read the first 2 chapters.
And if you're interested in a Monday night connection, Q-Sangha is Monday nights at MCC Church starting at 7 o'clock.
And tomorrow, Darren Main, the yoga teacher, is speaking. And then next Monday, we're having a Dharma movie night. So you can come bring popcorn.
Our host today is Cass. Cass?
Nice. Please stay and enjoy refreshments in the community with the Sangha afterwards, with tea and cookies, etc. There's one goal to help with the expenses of the Sangha. We recommend $5 if possible, or less, as you see it. And subject will go up after we're finished here and have lunch. So speak to me and I'll try to find out the details about that today.
I'm certainly looking forward to lunch. Offer a blessing.
Stand and create a circle together. Let's all go around the circle and share a word or something that we're thankful for or a blessing to each other. Blue irises.
Popcorn.
Prefer daisies.
Spaciousness.
Sundays.
Reps. San Francisco.
Companions. Gala apples.
Fellowship.
Everything.
Namaste.
Clouds.
Friendship.
Cafes.
That's right.
Bananas.
Music. Smile. Interbeing.
Words. Song. Drama.
Rain.
Gay marriage.
Three voices. Food and enlightenment.
Love.
We offer up all of the merits and fruits of our practice of mindfulness, concentration, and insight for not only our own benefit, but for the benefit of all beings everywhere, especially people who will walk out of this place and see right away, offering them our presence and smile. And throughout the week, offering our presence to all those we interact with. May we take a deep breath. Bodhiswaha.
Bodhiswaha.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Gay Buddhist Forum. If you would like to hear several new talks per month and be notified of upcoming speakers so you can participate live, please subscribe to this podcast, like us on Facebook, and join our mailing list by visiting gaybuddhist.org.